Yo, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. This is man, the king of truth. King Truth is our life. Coming on this knowledge understanding day. Knowledge understanding is equal to wisdom or wisdom. Like I'm saying, I'm about ready to do away with the word wisdom. It comes from, and from my perspective, it's a religious term. Where I can't tell you, but if you do the research, you could research how many times wisdom is used in the Bible. Wisdom is also referred to as female, as feminine, as a she. You understand? So, I want to put in a word that's don't make you think of religion. See what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep everything true to the original lessons, and use the term wisdom to have a winner's mentality over the religious term wisdom. And once again, y'all be describing wisdom using the word like, wisdom is having a wise dome, which is a wise mind. In the system of etymology, the wisdom or wise is a shortened version of wisdom, and proper English, proper education, proper language teaches you that if you really understand, you're not supposed to use the word in the definition. You're supposed to use other words to let you know you understand. See what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, peace. I'm at work, you know what I mean? I gotta get it. You know what I mean? I gotta stay on the grind. That's the only way I eat. I don't get no I don't get no YouTube money. I don't get no record royalties. I don't get no streaming money from Spotify. I don't get no Instagram money. So, I just do my duty. You know what I mean? I gotta find other streams of income. Now, yeah, it'd be nice to create income from, my social media. I think I got the best content out there. You understand? Because I tell you the truth. See what I'm saying? Where am I? I'm in the north. I'm in the wilderness of North America, where it's it is cold from November to March. Peace. So, I want to talk about this video. Reggie Wright landed on thick. So, check this video.
To visit him.
Oh,
when Tupac was in the hospital in Vegas, who was the one to decide who went in and who went out to visit him?
Oh, Miss Shakur Afeni was there that next day. It happened on, of course, Sunday was a crazy day. Believe she got in time there sometime Sunday, and it was all her decision. of who went in and who didn't go in there, into the room. Now, we got all of these security personnel that's running around making themselves feel important, which I get, no problem. But right way security was outside that door and was taking orders strictly from Afeni or whoever she represented. Miss Yasmin even came in town eventually, and she was there being a point person on a lot of things as well. But yeah, Afeni was in charge. She was the one that was making all the calls and deciding who went in. It was very few. I keep telling y'all, they used to have to put on, gowns and all of that to go in there. It wasn't like a normal hospital setting where you think people just can go in and out, come and visit and see who can visit. No, it wasn't like that. You had all type of people trying to get up there. One of my security even caught a candy striper. Well, she wasn't a candy striper. She was posing as a candy striper, but she was actually a news reporter that was trying to take a picture of him. And I wasn't there. Two of my security guards took the camera from her and escorted her out of the hospital. And we found out that she was a fake employee dressing up like a volunteer. So we had all of that trying to go on back then. But yeah, Ms. Shakur was ultimately responsible for who went in and out.
Okay. So I didn't know. So you had to wear like the mask and the the gown and the suit and all that to go in to visit them. What? So you wouldn't contaminate it with germs or something?
Correct. And I noticed Mopreme, and shout out Mopreme. I'm tired of hating on people and down, correcting everybody's stories. But so shout out Mopreme. But he doubled down again and said that Tupac was shaking the bed or trying to talk to him and all of that. But I'll double down just like Tupac's father said. Tupac had tubes down his throat and everything, and he was sedated. He couldn't move, y'all. His body was cut open. He was subject to germs. I don't know why people keep adding this extra onto it. I guess it's good for the videos. And I'm not just talking about Mopreme. Other people has, Yo-Yo. And I believe that's things that they thought they saw. When she said that he had tears running down his eyes. I don't know. I don't know how the emotions work when people are in that situation. But I just believe their love for him caused them to believe that's what was happening. Is my opinion. But I know if Tupac would have came out of being insedated and the way his body was, he had lost a finger, he had lost a lung. If he would have came out of that situation, he would have been a very, 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 very painful situation. And the doctor would have been, or the person that put you under, would have been sued. Malpractice. That was very malpractice. Yes.
Hold on. What do you mean was malpractice? The doctors that did the surgeries on him?
Yeah, the anesthesia. If he was able to wake up like they said, coming in and out of being insedated.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Do you ultimately agree with the decision to pull the plug that Afeni made?
Well, I'm one that believes that's God's decision. And if the machines was what's keeping him alive, and if that's what God, that was his date, and God's decision for him to pass away that day, knowing Tupac, he would be a very, very unhappy man, missing a finger, having one lung. I don't even think he would be able to rap. I know for sure he couldn't smoke cigarettes anymore, smoke weed, and drink with that one lung. I personally, I only know him for 11 months, so I know y'all corrected me already, don't believe he would have wanted to live like that. Because he was a very handsome man, and he cared about his appearance probably more than he cared about his lyrics and his raps, from what I remember about him. So yes, I believe his mother made the right decision. Plus, most people don't know. I haven't heard too many people talk about it, but they had to revive Tupac about 2 to 3 times. And that's why after the 3rd time on Thursday, Suge made the call to Snoop that night and told Snoop, if you want to see Tupac or talk to him one last time before he passed away, you need to get out of here tonight. And that's one thing I give credit to Snoop Dogg for. He did come in 3 or 4 a.m. that morning, Friday morning, and went and saw Tupac early morning Friday. And I believe and heard from my security, Marcus Thompson and Kenneth Archer, the statements that Snoop has said about almost fainting and throwing up. And also saying he was going to name his second son after Tupac. He also said that day. Peace, Bomb1st.
So I was gonna name the video Anybody Got Some Bread, because Reggie Wright landed on thick. Right, you know, man, I'm you know, when people constantly lie to you, you know, you just lose all respect. Like in the beginning of Reggie Wright's podcast, he was truthful and honest. He would tell you, he would break down Tupac contracts and tell you, before Tupac sold one record under Death Row, they had advanced him almost $2-3 million. They, a large portion of it come from the appeal bond, right? He was convicted of like raping the 4th degree, which is sexual assault. He was convicted. Ask a lawyer what this. Ask a lawyer. He was convicted of sexual assault, of 4th degree rape, and then he was doing time in Dannemora, also known as Clinton Correctional in Dannemora, New York, upstate New York. And he got out. So he filed an appeal, and he got out on an appeal bond, and Death Row say it was over $1 million. That was the amount of the appeal bond, right? Ask a lawyer. If you don't believe me, check fact with a lawyer. Check fact with a criminal defense lawyer. Ask a lawyer, please, right? So, he got out on appeal bond, went to Death Row, and Reggie say, he known him for 11 months, right? So I guess that's how long he was on Death Row, I guess, right? I don't know, right? But Reggie is talking about the night he got shot and faked his death. He got shot in '96 in Las Vegas, and then he faked his death. Reggie say he got his finger shot off, and he was in and out of sedation, which could have been true. But he say he lost his lung. I don't know, but Tupac is alive and well today. See what I'm saying? He not dead, and it's a shame that people think that I'm snitching. Snitching is when you tell on people you down with to save your own ass. Currently, I'm not in trouble. If law enforcement, wanted to make me a deal or pay me to go to take a lie detector test and say that I seen him alive in 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, I would do it. I would take the money and tell the truth. See what I'm saying? Tell the truth and shame the devil. See what I'm saying? So Tupac not my man. Tupac was convicted of raping a young woman. He lied about that. He lied about being shot. He blamed Biggie. His lies got Biggie shot. And so I'm not finna back this dude lies or back his play. You know what I mean? He a 9th grade little boy. He don't grow. They tell me his mother is a 6th grade dropout. The Panthers weren't supposed to take her unless she got a GED. The Panthers was formed in Oakland at a college. I can't think of the college name, but Huey P. Newton. I think he got a law degree. I think Bobby Rush got a law degree. He is a senator in Chicago, congressman or something now today. So they were some educated brothers that founded the Panthers, and that should have been a requirement to join the Panthers, join the movement, that you at least have a bare minimum GED. GED means General Education Development, right? That should be a requirement for you to set out to get knowledge yourself at the school or with enlighteners, that you have a bare minimum GED requirement so you can be on the level, ready to build on your rudimentary foundation. You know what I mean? That's K through 12, 1 through 12. You understand? That's the real standard that society sets to make you show and prove that you're on the level as a 18 or going on grown person. See what I'm saying? That you have a fair C-level understanding of 12th grade coursework. And so you get that most people get that when you're 18. See, I'm 17, 18 years old. That's the age you're supposed to graduate 12th grade high school. So if you don't have the bare minimum GED, which is equivalent to a high school diploma, then you really can't properly contribute to the movement, the struggle, business, education, teaching babies and teaching adults. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man. So yeah, that dude was laying on thick. Anybody got some peanut butter or some jelly to go with the peanut butter he was putting on that bread, because That dude. And I don't know why they keep lying for him. Lying for Tupac don't help Tupac. Covering for Tupac don't help Tupac. It enables his childish, narcissistic, mega ego behavior. See what I'm saying? So Tupac not my man, man. I'm just responding to this video. I'm responding to this video that Reggie Wright just doubled down, tripled down, say Tupac dead, he died, he's fucked up, his mama pulled the cord. See, people think Suge pulled the cord, but it was his mama pulled the cord. She fronting and faking like her son had enough. He was shot in quad. I still bet the NOI $1 million. He was not shot in quad. Jimmy Iovine $1 million. He was not shot in quad. And I bet Jimmy Iovine and the NOI $1 million that Biggie and Tupac was running around together in 97 and beyond. They was together in the same vehicle, putting up on me. So that beef that Faggot Village set off was made up to make you look at the beef versus y'all thinking about him raping that young woman. Right, he believed that would destroyed his career, so that's why he manufactured that beef against Combs, Bad Boy, and Biggie, and Faith and everybody to turn your attention towards the beef versus his rape case. And him, he was lying in jail. He was like, watch how they turn on me, watch how people do this, man. They do crazy, man. Listen, man, he not dead. And my name King Truth. King Truth is Allah. And we don't have to be like going back and forth debate about it. Get Tupac to take a lie detector test. Get his mother to take a lie detector test to say he was shot in Quad Studios. That's Times Square, New York. So that's all I'm saying. See what I'm saying? Lie detector test ain't hard. I ain't lying. He ain't dead. He in Stormont, Georgia. So I'm just calling bullshit on Reggie Wright's things that he say about Tupac being alive. You got Keefy D in jail. And, Tupac not dead, man. So, like if Tupac was, if Tupac had the backing of the Panthers, the Black Liberation Army, the Black Liberation Militia, the Vanguard, the Outlaws, Thug Life, Death Row, Mob Piru, why he can't come back to life and go and deal with his legal troubles? Get the murder case off Keefy D. Just charge him with what he, what the right charge would be. Go deal with his rape appeal trial. Deal with it. If he got the backing of all the Interscope, the Jews, why he can't go deal? Tupac fake, man. He in Stormont, Georgia right now, chilling, while Keefy D sitting in jail and he then got away with raping a young woman. So that's all I'm saying. I'm out.